We are live in Sheff Shop. Oh, there you go, real
Yeah,
music.
I was slipping.
You know what I'm saying?
Slipping and slacking.
Hey, peace. What's up, y'all?
What up, everybody?
Man.
What's up with you? Getting down to business.
Yeah. Got your volume down, Sherm?
I do.
Hey,
I already did that.
Good job. Yeah, man. Hope y'all are doing well, man.
Did you see the pictures there?
I'm fixing it. I got you. Yeah, the problems nobody knows.
Yeah, please.
The trouble I
That's
see.
not the picture. That is that's a bad picture.
Nobody knows.
Johnny.
Badass
Dan or Don. I'm thinking Dan.
What up, y'all?
Juan Parra. What up? My name is my name. You early. You got fired from work or something?
Right.
You are the second person to comment.
You ain't got no job.
You ain't got no job. You ain't got shit else to do.
Right. You
getting
us.
We good.
Yeah, man. Peace, y'all. Sorry about the little technical difficulties and such. Yeah, you sent your energy my way. You know what I'm saying?
We got the volume. We need to turn the volume down today.
Who's fucking up now? What's up, y'all? Yeah, man. Sorry about the delay and the crazy ass placeholder for a picture, man. Like, I don't know what's up with the app, what's going on, but we are live, and that is all that matters at this point. Yeah, man. Happy Sunday to y'all. How you feeling, Sherm?
I'm good, man. I am spectacular.
Spectacularly well. Fantastically well. What was that shit? That was the Love Below album.
Oh, I was gonna say I'm doing swimmingly.
Yeah. You remember that shit? What was it? Farnsworth? What was it? Bentley Farnsworth and Andre 3000. No, it's just me. No one remembers that.
It's been so long.
Fantastically well.
Why actually, for you to remember that,
I'm a fan.
It's interesting.
Outkast is like probably like top 3 favorite groups all time for me. So yeah, listen, I play that.
I could see why you choose them.
Yeah, them Strange Fellow. Is that what it is?
No, that's great. Fucking great.
Oh, it's good music. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Yeah, man. So what's up, y'all? Hey, welcome to Substantial Sundays. Do me a favor.
Indio. What up, Indio?
Welcome back, Indio. So do me a solid.
Calvin.
If you haven't said peace already, make sure you say peace. Let us know where you're tuning in from, and most importantly, share the link. So I always make sure I lead by example by taking a second to do that. So don't think I'm ignoring you guys. You know the routine.
Yeah, that's why I was looking down. I was doing the same thing.
Yeah, you know how I go. Yeah, but I hope y'all are having a great Sunday, man. A lot to talk about. Shout out to anybody who's watching.
I don't know how to say your name. Last name George. I was just about to try. Okay, you brave. What up, George? What's happening?
Right. Yeah, man. Let's see. Yeah, it will not let me fix that thumbnail, bro. It's probably not gonna wait until after. Yeah. So yeah, man. So look, we were ready to start probably 20-30 minutes ago. Yeah, on time. And like for whatever reason, the YouTube app just had given me hell, not letting me put the thumbnail image that we saved. And it's a bullshit. Yeah, and we put a lot of thought into our thumbnail images. You know what I'm saying? We're here having a good time, just being clowns and shit. And then the sabotage, you know what I'm saying? You can say, YouTube hating on our whole little situation. What type of bullshit is that? But yeah, man. Get into it. Talk some music.
Where we starting here?
I mean, I feel like music's always a good place to start.
Okay, so
what recommendations you got this week?
This week I got I only have one recommendation. Well, no, I have two. So I started following this dude on Instagram and Spotify called The Frenetic. Real dope producer. I guess you put him in a lo-fi lane, but he's really dope.
It's reconnected, and we're back. So yeah, man. Hopefully, it's not one of those nights, and it might be in the cameras on the wrong way. What is going on tonight? As you can see, folks, It is a struggle. This is all night, yeah. All night. This is what we were dealing with a good shit, man. At least 25 minutes before the joint, man. Like it was just really, really, it was a real bad look. And so trying to deal with these technical issues or whatever, but it is what it is. But yeah, man, you were saying your brother recommended.
Okay, there we go. All right.
Yeah,
I was trying to get my shit back.
I saw that.
So yeah, I don't know where I got cut off at, but yeah, my brother suggested Everlast's latest album, Whitey Ford's House of Pain, and it was surprisingly good.
I feel like he got a pretty good track record.
He does have a pretty good track record. I haven't heard anything from him for a while.
Yeah, it has been
so I was real skeptical. And my brother, like our musical taste, like he listens to a lot, like he listens to dope shit, but it's just like his ear is different from mine. Like it's so the stuff he listens to is kind of, it's just different. We just have different ears. So I was kind of skeptical about it, but yeah, it's a really good album. It kind of reminds me of Yellow Wolf's last couple of albums, even though of course Everlast was doing the Whitey Ford thing before Yellow Wolf was doing his thing. So yeah, that's a good project. I would definitely suggest that, like especially the singing joints. You know how he is with his blues shit. Like the singing joints, he got some real. Oh, he got a joint in there with Aloe Black. Oh,
yeah, it's dope.
Oh, it is super dope. So
can we hold that thought for a second? Because you're the person that put me on the Aloe Black. So I've been meaning to ask you this for a while, but I just I hadn't thought to ask you. How do you feel about his transition from like where he was when you introduced me to him, when he was still with Stone's Throw, versus like the where he is now? Because I mean, the dude, like I wouldn't say household name, but he's obviously way bigger than he once was. And so, and he has been for quite some time because that record came out a while ago. But just sonically, I think that's where my real issue is. Like, and I'm not one of those people that hate to see like artists blow up or don't want to see people grow. But I feel like sonically, I just don't like.
He became a commercial.
Yeah.
Especially that last album he put out. Every song was like a song for the best songs on there sounded like songs for a commercial.
And then it's like it's weird when I see people who are trying to do like an old sound, but everything is like super polished. Like that old sound it sounds super generic when it's way too polished. You know what I mean? Like it kind of needs to be warmer, right? And so yeah, man, it's super frustrating because like I really love that dude's shit. You know what I mean? And so like when
it's like what Jay said, man. You want to hear my old shit? Play my old album.
And I do.
So
right,
that's where it's like. So you got artists who they change with whatever their market says. Right. And unfortunately, you got dudes that are so hungry that it's like, okay, as soon as I get on, that's it, boom. I'm going with whatever I did to get on. Right. I'm staying on. And I kind of feel like that's what he did because Aloe Black started off rapping.
Yeah, I know.
And like you said, his transition, like right up until he blew up, it was like, oh, super dope. And then it's like he blows. It's like, well, we got what we wanted. Yeah. From here on out, it's whatever the masses want. So I'm not mad at it. Right. Because at the end of the day, it's a business. Yeah. So it's an art form. It's an art form as well at the end of the day. But at the end of the day, you're getting into the industry because you want to be monetarily successful. Right. And if he's seeing more monetary success now than he was before, which I'm sure he is. Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, if that's better for his pockets, I can't be mad. If he's going to sacrifice the art for his finance, I mean, that's his decision. So, and not that he's necessarily sacrificing, he's just tweaking it more for a different market. So, yeah. That's my thoughts on it. So, yeah, my last joint. Oh, did you have anything else?
No, I got nothing, man. I've just been working on my shit, trying to meet these deadlines, bro. Yeah.
Well, last musical contribution is the Starting Five, the Mass Appeal compilation.
Gotcha. It's not good.
I wish I had more thumbs.
Right.
So I could give it, no, what do you say? However the Dave Chappelle
Had
shit
more
goes.
hands so I can get them to this 4 thumbs down.
So there's probably, so the first song has Nas on it, Nas for Sean and, Fashion and I forgot who else. But the first song is good, of course, because Nas is on it. Mm-hmm. And it's got one other song that's really good, but everything else is good. It's just something to listen to. I was thoroughly disappointed. Mm-hmm. Thoroughly. Like, it's not bad.
Right.
But unfortunately, because you have Nas as your label head, that kind of sets the bar way higher than what you want it to be for an up and coming artist. So it's not bad for music, for music's sake, but as far as it being a release, I was not impressed. So yeah. That's that on the music. I had not been paying attention.
I mean, I remember back in '96. That was when I was officially. That was when I gave up on compilation albums, yo, like straight up. And the reason why I say that is because I remember the America's Dying Slowly compilation had some joints on it. But it wasn't that great. There was a lot of jazz hip hop compilations where it had some joints on it, but wouldn't be that great, right? And then '96, D&D Studios dropped a compilation joint, which had that classic track. Everybody running over the Primo beat, I think it was. They had Smith and Wesson on it, J. Rue the Damager. All of these dope ass rappers. All Fat Joe was on the joint. Remember that D&D All Stars joint from back in the day?
I'm sure.
The artist that was on it, you think this shit is magic, bro. All that just went down with him. And yeah, it's terrible, yo. It was terrible. And that was kind of the point.
And listen to.
Like, that was when I kind of gave up on joints. I think one of the best compilations I heard though was oh no, we good, man. It might just be on your end.
Yeah, it keeps.
Anybody else saying this?
Yeah, is anybody else getting any like glitches?
They commented on last year's Black Panther the joint. That was a great episode. Yeah, compared to the history of compilations and
the Dreamville joints.
The Dreamville joints
are good.
And they're the exception.
And Ninth Wonder's last joint was good.
That joint was solid.
That was a good compilation.
Wait, shit on my point. Good job.
No, you're right though. No, but it's bad for a minute though. It's bad for a minute.
Lyricist Lounge like the pinnacle. Like that era.
Unfair.
Yeah. And it's crazy, and most of these dudes, I mean, it was a couple, pioneers and shit in there, but it was virtually, like all underground, unknown.
That you haven't heard of.
Remember Cycle? Yes. Duh.
That is one of the main ones. All them dudes were insane.
But that shit was, the hardest.
Man.
Yeah, that shit was so hard. Shout out to the Lyricist Lounge, man. That was, I was having a little nostalgia moment. But yeah. Calvin, I saw your comment talking about Aloe Black. That was part of the reason why I liked him so much when he first came out, because, when he first started doing the singing thing, because, I'm a super Bill Withers fan.
Bill Withers.
Yeah, man. Speaking of which, if you are a Bill Withers fan like me, check out Still Bill. That's a great documentary. It's probably one of my favorite music documentaries. Yeah, let's see. Any comments, any questions? YouTube is trying to tap in the cable by getting on the it's falling. Yeah. I don't know, man, what's going on with it, but largely since I moved over to YouTube, it's been a lot more stable than the Facebook days when I was running with their live. But it's still a lot of issues, you know what I mean? But yeah. Anything we missed? Anything? Alright, I think we good. So that show you was telling me about, son, that crazy
it's
show.
A documentary.
Yes, it is.
I don't know if anyone has seen
my face,
but Abducted in Plain Sight is the fuckery of the year. There will be nothing. And I'm sorry. Okay, so it's a documentary and it's about people's real lives. But you chose to get in front of the camera, so I'm granted an opinion. I'm granted an opinion. If you don't like it, I'm sorry. But this is the fuckery. It is the fuckery. If you haven't seen it, watch it as soon as the show is over. Don't stop us to watch that shit. As soon as we're done, watch that shit. If you want to see something better than most movies that have been in the theaters, holy shit. So this is about a family who has 3 daughters, one of which is the interest of one of their neighbors, who proceeds to kidnap her twice and receive her as a gift once. And it's quite a Vidalia. It's quite the Vidalia. The layers just keep it going. Like, I haven't told you anything. Oh man, it is so entertaining. It is so incredibly entertaining. It is nothing like, what's that entertainment? I don't want that. Man, I'm sorry. Sometimes the fuckery is so entertaining. Because, I like ridiculousness and shit like that. This is ridiculousness on steroids, propofol, promethazine, Molly, everything. Oh my God. Watch that shit. It's a ride. It's quite a ride.
I don't know, bro.
Yeah, hey, Josh. Man, plot twist after plot twist, to say the least. I mean, man.
Sounds crazy, son.
He's not gonna watch it.
I'm probably gonna. I've watched some crazy shit, so I'm probably gonna.
Me and my wife watched it. Yeah, hey, dog. Hey, Josh. So when the dude get to talking about, so we took a ride in the car, and I could see he was visibly da-da-da. I was like, nah. That's not. No. I had to stop. I was in here cutting hair. I had to stop cutting. I had to put my clippers down, walk out for like 3 minutes, and I couldn't process it really, but I don't know, just deal with what I just saw. Man. Yeah, watch that shit.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna check it out, but it's like I'm not excited to check it out, right?
He relieved him.
Yeah, I don't know.
No, it's not exciting.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying.
It's a train wreck. It is the most fantastic train wreck you've ever seen in your life.
It's crazy.
Like, it's like a train wreck because the train got shot by a laser coming from a UFO because there was a robot machine attacking the train that had alien materials on it that couldn't get back to the alien planet because it would destroy the planet. It was like that kind of train wreck. That shit is fantastic. Yes.
That's insane. I don't know. I'm gonna help watching this shit.
You may.
Yeah, I don't know, folks. I don't know. Yeah, I haven't. Listen, I think the only thing
I said I was sipping, had to put my cup down. I sobered up real quick.
Yeah, I gotta check it out.
That should have happened with the blinks, like with that. Don't.
Yeah, man. I think the only thing I watched this past week. I finally saw. I saw 2 things this week. I watched Glass again. I saw Glass again. Still love that. And then I finally saw The Hate You Give. I finally watched that movie. It's a really good movie.
Did you drop any tears?
Nah, it was.
What about with the with the monologue when the pops had gotten harassed by the cops
and he got out the car with his kids? Yeah, that part got me. Yeah, that part got me.
You black in America, and you see some shit where they're dealing with being black in America, especially as a man.
Yeah. And the moment he had with his kids.
That was rough. Rough.
My wife she was looking at me, I was processing, and she was like, she was asking me like, was I okay? Because she could tell, like, that shit, it bothered. And so, and what I told her, I was like, it's always hard watching movies like that, right? For me, because it's like, so I was like, shit, it's close to home, right? Like, it's like, it's like edutainment to a degree, right? Where it's like, it's a movie, and so there's a certain degree of entertainment, but at the same time, it's touching on real shit, and then it's touching on a lot of experiences. Like, I've been held gunpoint by cops, like, a few times, and so, yeah, like it's just the way I told her. It's like sometimes I told her I was like, watch shit sometimes. Because it's just like I don't necessarily need a reminder of that shit. You know what I mean? Like I feel like I walk out the house every day, and that's the potential reality, right?
Yeah, especially being an educator in the PG County schools.
Yeah, so it's like even when I'm not dealing with it directly, my students are. So like, there's no real. I guess so. Like when I watch the flicks, it's no break for me. You know what I mean? Like I don't get to kind of turn off and escape. But I don't run from shit. I've been planning to see that movie for a while, and then we finally just was like, you know what? Fuck it, we go ahead and watch it. But I knew going in, that's what it was. I really like how they flipped the Tupac Thug Life.
Yeah.
That was really, really dope. Yeah, man, but so I saw that joint, and definitely if y'all haven't seen Glass yet, it's for a lot of people, it's either hate it or love it. I loved it so much I saw it twice, so yeah, that's my recommendation if you have not seen it. And you finally saw Spider-Man
Into the Spider-Verse.
Welcome.
I missed minutes up to just being a movie. Yeah, being 40 and being a movie. Animation and the art. Look at the picture and you see like those lines, the lines and dots. Like I was getting lost in those details, man. Yeah, it's a fantastic movie. The story, oh man,
the color right.
Well, I can't wait to see it again. Yeah, I want to see it in 3D though. Like I'm sure that 3D is crazy.
Yeah, I've literally seen that movie 4 times. 4 times.
I can see that.
Yeah, I love that shit. I really love that shit. What else, man? I feel like there's some other things. I'm supposed to be giving you guys heads up. Oh, real quick plug. So, anybody who is in NYC or Brooklyn, New York specifically, I am in Brooklyn this coming Saturday. I'll be there with my company, Music LLC. We will be doing a workshop. Indie 101 is coming to New York. It's going to be at the Ancient Light Studio in Brooklyn. There should be a link in the description. So basically, I've been performing past shows, but Indie 101, for any of you guys who are recording artists, musicians, recording artists, musicians, same shit, or visual artists or small business owners, and you need help with your business, you basically need help with social media marketing, need more information on grants, need more information on crowdfunding, all of that. Our business, that's what we do. We help others find resources so that way it's easier for them to make a living doing what they're passionate about. So come through, check it out. Most importantly, if you cannot make it yourself, but you know from the area who could benefit from it, man, definitely spread the word, give them head, share the information. Sharing is caring. All right. We have a lot of folks who already signed up, and we're excited to be bringing that to Brooklyn. Brooklyn is in the house. And then I'm back in Brooklyn again in March, son, doing the show Shingo too. And then we doing the same show in DC. You know what I mean? Should be dope. It's going to be a tribute to Nujabes. And for those who don't know, this past Thursday was Nujabes' 5th birthday. He would have been 45 years old that he had not passed away. I spent the week just kind of going back through the catalog, listening to the tunes, man. Was going through like old pictures and stuff. I think today some of the joints.
Oh
yeah, man. It was definitely a nice little stroll down memory lane, man. And for those of you who haven't listened to The Past is Always Present in the Future a while too, I also took time to reflect on that final verse on No Turning Back. Just really think, being reminded of why I wrote it to begin with. I was talking to my wife, just some of the unbelievable, like you see people who get inspired over the years by people, but then you see like the people who really like straight up opportunists. Like this just happened to this person. How can I basically take this and tell you so many different situations, not just the ones I kind of seen from the outside looking in, but like people who hit me up directly trying to get me to do certain shit, and just so they can make a name off of it, you know what I mean? And so So yeah, man, definitely rest in peace to my brother Nujabes. Maybe today at the end of the show, maybe you guys pick a random song or whatever like that I did with him. If y'all want to hear the story behind that, we can talk about that. Or if y'all just got general questions about Nujabes, can't think of a better way to honor him than share a story, one or two. You know what I mean? But yeah, son.
So can we everybody just take a moment to send all your positive vibes over to Indio. He said he's got a procedure coming up. I'm not asking to really delve into what that is, but prayers and positive energy your way, man. I hope it's successful. So you can keep on keeping on, man. Yeah.
Definitely, man. I'm trying to think anything else going on. Oh. Sheff the Sapphic Songstress YouTube view. What is happening?
And nobody's commenting, so I'm really assuming the Dread Buffering Circle.
Yeah, man.
So are we still live?
Yeah, we are. It's still moving along, going ahead. I can tell though things are because of the clarity or whatever.
It comes and goes. Stop picking. I'm not. Who's picking their nose? Oh, you.
Huh?
You picking your nose?
I mean, you just lost the John. Maybe it's you. Is it still going on mine?
So
Thank you,
I
Sherm.
completely lost my joint, man. Like it's not even. All right,
Sherm.
Yeah.
So couple of quick things, real quick, before I forget. Really unfortunate how I haven't caught a stream in months, and now YouTube is tripping. I'm sorry. I don't know what it is.
My shit just came back up. I saw all the pixels.
Wow, YouTube
never seen
on the stream. How y'all living in the chat? Yeah, add me. Look. Okay, y'all back now. There it is. Apologies, y'all. So look, let me get into some other stuff before I forget. Have not saw it already. I have an EP coming out. It's called Recompositions. I do have some news for you. .com. Go ahead and pre-order it. What is it doing? And reconnect. Young. Man, we might cut this just short. EP is about to drop. It comes out February, but I just talked to Mark about to drop the song with myself. Initially, we were trying to drop it, but it looks like now we're going to drop it on the 23rd, February 23rd. We're better way to honor our fallen brother than to go ahead and us put the song that we've been working on together out. It's not, the song itself isn't necessarily a tribute to Nujabes, but it's one of those things. All working together in itself is definitely honoring the brother. We wouldn't know each other if it wasn't for him. You know what I mean? So look out for that. Song's called Blinded Light. It's going to drop February 23rd. So because that song is coming out, I chose, because that song, if I would have kept with my EP dropping the day it was going to drop, it would literally come out the day before the song comes out. And I really want people to be able to focus on the song for bare minimum at least a week. We had a chance to really ride to it. And then the EP, I'm going to stagger it a week. So it'll be like, I think, March 1st. I'm going to drop it now. Alright.
Garden is your best album.
Someone said Garden is my best album.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't agree with that.
Right.
But
it's all good.
Your opinion. If you enjoy my man's music, that's all that really matters. I just don't agree with your short album to say it's his best work.
He's like, hey, you know the album, when you don't say shit, that's your album. No, I'm just playing around.
Nah,
I appreciate it. Put a lot. So, considering
I got the stream on 144p and it's still.
That is crazy.
Yeah, it's on YouTube.
Yeah, I don't know what it. Yeah, it's super blurry on mine as well. It might be an issue like like everybody in the house right now might all be on the connection right now. Yeah, that.
What's the name? The switch.
Mm-hmm. So look, because literally in this room alone is 4 of us. 1, 2, 3, 4.
True.
Right. And listen, like
This is never.
It's never been this bad. Yeah, I don't know. This is could be anything.
But y'all still here though. Thanks.
You gotta sound like Roger Troutman,
Damn.
Right. Oh man. It's all good. Home is where the art is, the dope is. Change my mind on way. Hey, look. At the time I did it, man, I felt like like I really went above and beyond to make that record something special. So I appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Change your mind, I'll wait.
Right, change my mind. Yo, so what was I gonna tell y'all?
Crack kill.
So it does. It's terrible. You know what I mean? Crack is whack. Rest in peace, Whitney Houston. So listen, that's what she said. I'm just quoting. So look, a couple things. So with recompositions, some people, not a lot, have been hitting me up asking if there's going to be a physical release of it. Because of the fact it's about half of it are like half of the songs on there are remixes. I'm shying away from doing a physical release of the project because remix projects typically don't sell very well. And so, I'm not trying to lose money on that investment, you know what I mean? But what I am going to do is the opening song from it, which I debuted last week on the channel before it was released. Y'all got to hear it here. And I'm going to do a 7/9 on 45 of that single, the original version, the song and the instrumental. And debating on doing a remix of that joint, getting Asher on the remix. Because he heard the beat a long time ago over the summer and he liked that joint. So I think it'd be dope to do that so we can have an official Edo Bushido song. You know what I mean?
I thought you were doing one.
We haven't done one. We haven't put one out. Young, that's a busy dude, bro. Like, we keep trying.
It's always, we always talk about it, but it's,
We keep trying, man. But,
oh my God, man.
It's one of those things, like, for instance, they be like, why don't the rappers I like put out more music? And like, for some of these dudes, rap don't bring enough bread for him to be like as well. But his business is extremely successful. Like, so for those who don't know, man, he's like, this dude's kind of like an unofficial mayor of the DMV when it comes to anything regarding youth work. You know what I mean? Like, this dude he's literally taking so many from this particular area and giving teaching artist positions.
I think talking about those.
Right.
Just the title, it just be the same raps.
It's I don't know, like, so and sorry for the issue, man. The app keeps crashing. I restarted the phone. I did all this other shit, man, trying to troubleshoot and figure out what the issue was. I don't know. Anyway, we'll try to be quick about it, man, because we wrapping in about like 20 minutes anyway. So anyway, so to answer the question, how would the song be different? I mean, I think largely, well, it depends on what version we're talking about. If we're talking about the newest, I don't think that version would be that much different. You know what I mean? Like, in my daughter, what's the face?
This is Johnny's comment face. I got 1,000 middle fingers for Johnny.
What do you do?
It would go, where the fuck is this comment? I got 1,000 middle fingers for Johnny right now.
Oh no.
It'll go, keep growing, Shermy, keep growing. I got 6 million middle fingers for Johnny Perozzo right this instant. Yes. Sell to the door, you ass hat. You ass hat. That's hilarious.
Johnny's funny as hell. But now, like,
first of all, I'm older than him.
He officially by 3 days. He got me by 3 days. You know what I'm saying? His mother was I'm like, oh, well. But yeah, man. Now I think the original In My Daughter's Eyes will be very different because the original In My Daughter's Eyes, it talks about what how we gotta prepare my daughter. You want to see?
No, I got a question to go with that.
So I think it would be very different because of the fact that whole kind of talks about like all of the differences in terms of how the world treats women, how the world views women. I really talked to my daughter about what she sees herself, like things she's really looking at, and what her day to day is like. And I asked the same question for her little sister. And so like write everything down and stuff, like, what do you see, right? Like she just sat there, like she talked about the things that she sees that gives her joy versus the things that makes her sad. And, like it was positive. I went in the studio and then wrote like based off of that and elaborated a little more based on the things I see that she sees. And so I don't feel like the second one would be that because it's not so caught up in the experience as the first one. But I think with Son, where I think it would be different, I think actually, who is fighting brain cancer, and I went to visit him recently, and one of the things I struggled with is like, like as a dude, sometimes with other boys around, I seem to be cooking them and I keep them from being soft, right? Like trying to keep them from crying, trying to toughen them up. Like that's something that dudes just do with younger dudes, and I don't think like people will say, I don't think it's necessarily natural learned behavior, right? Like I think it's one of those things that we like has us believing that like men are supposed to be a certain way. So when you have your own, you just kind of fall into that loop and just give your son or give whoever like what the world has given you. And so yeah, man, like I think on that trip and saw like when I left, I had to process a lot because there were moments that because of the treatment that he's going to struggle to walk. He's going through a lot. Saying it to him, but in my mind, like, yeah, come on, man, get up, stop crying, like, come on, like, nah, why they carrying you, blah blah blah, like, young. It took the amount of restraint I had to show to not fall into that and say that to him a million times. Like, that's crazy. Like, what is wrong with me that even when I know that he's gone through that's going through my head when I see him. That was the men I came up around and how we interact with each other. You know what I mean? Like how it's not all right to be soft,
I'll check it out, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fine.
It's more issues frozen.
It's like frozen. It's looking like girlfriend as well.
Yeah, that's a couple questions.
Yeah.
All right.
I have one question.
All right, go ahead.
So with that being the same consideration, kept the song as lighthearted as it was, not light, but it wasn't a dark song. Do you think the song would have been darker if you would have had a son, being with the climate of with the climate of present times?
Probably. Yeah, I can see that. But I also feel like the first one is dark. You know what I mean? Like the first version is dark. Like the chorus doesn't seem dark. Keep growing, baby. Like that joint don't sound dark. But in terms of like what I'm talking about in the verses, like because it talks about like rape, it talks about a lot of dark shit. You know what I mean? Like because like I think people downplay what a woman's experience is. Like not people, but like dudes in particular sometimes make it seem like women got it great. Yeah, and it's just like, yeah, man, like, like worldwide, like women are treated like second-class citizens and shit, like, like, and that's just common practice, and so, yeah, like, I don't necessarily know how much darker it will be, but I think you speak with your son you speak to your son based on your experiences and how you view the world, and you try to open yourself up to newer things and how the world's changing. But you got your own shit to unpack, and I feel like you force that on your children sometimes, even when the world isn't necessarily that way anymore. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And so, yeah. I saw a couple questions in here.
One is,
Yeah, man. And sorry, Clark, if things are that clear, man. I'm not sure what's up with the connection tonight.
What would you say are the top 5 songs you recorded with Nujabes?
Oh, great question.
From Good Money Now, if he's still in the building.
Yeah, top 5 songs I did with Nujabes. I would say they are. And when I say top 5, like I'll give you 2 lists. I'm gonna give you the list that the fans would say, right? Like I think the general consensus would be versus what my list is. I think for a lot of fans, you gotta start with Blessing It, right? Like there's Blessing It, right? And then like after Blessing It, maybe there's like Waiting for the Clouds to Part or Hikari, right? So you got those 3 right there. And then you got maybe let's say City Lights, right? Maybe for certain folks, and of course Eclipse. So I feel like those would kind of round out the top 5. Like maybe City Lights can be replaced with something else, but I think most fans that's the top 5 song. Oh, Think Different. So take City Lights out and throw Think Different in there. All right. My top 5 songs I've done with Nujabes in terms of the ones I love the most. The top 5 songs I did with Nujabes that are my favorite: Waiting for the Clouds to Part, Ain't No Happy Endings. I really, even though we didn't finish the song, like properly finish the song, City Lights is definitely one of my favorites. I love the vibe of that joint, man. It's a great record. If I Was Your Mic, it's still one of my favorites too. Like just because when I perform it, it's just crazy getting on stage performing that as like I'm 40 now, right? Like performing that as a 40-year-old man, knowing that I wrote it when I was 16. Like it's just crazy, and people actually want to hear it. Like that's just a dope feeling. So If I Was Your Mic, Ain't No Happy. I said I really love City Lights, and then and Wait.
Said Think Different.
I didn't say Think Different for my list. Okay. Because Think Different, even though I know people love it, it's not one of my favorite joints. Me and Sherm had this conversation. Think Different, the greatest line is the opening line. The opening 2 bars is the best shit I wrote on almost any song. Yeah, dude. And then when I listen back to it, that shit is like, it's filler mostly. Like I think it's a point, and I love the chorus, which was inspired by Savannah X. But the shit is mostly like I feel like it's a lot of filler. Like I think it works great as a song, but it's not my best shit. But I respect people who love it because I think the message is a powerful message and it connects, and that's what matters.
I think you might have brought my name's hard, man.
Right.
Think Different is sick.
Thank you. My name is my name. Look, it's just I'm just speaking strictly from a technical, just from a technical point of view, right? Like. Like I think I'm sorry. I start off really poetic, and then I simplify the hell out of it for the rest of the song, right? Like the opening line is the line to grab you and pull you in, and then from there I'm like, all right, real basic. Like you do this, I do that. You do this, I do that. You do this, I do that. But I ain't better than you. I think different. That's really like, but like some of the greatest songs ever written. They take sometimes complicated things and they simplify it. You know what I mean?
And then leave it up to the listener's interpretation.
Yeah, and I think I started really deep, and I was tempted to keep going that route, and I think I started writing that way, and then I was just like, nah, I need to make this a little. I think there's ways of being deep without being complicated, and I think that song does a good job of that. Remember. Yeah, that was a hard joint to roll. A lot of the songs on my first album, at least half of them were written out. Remembering during my connection, some of was connection. That's why it's pausing like that. Yeah. So I think we starting to figure out like what the technical is might be about Mike. But anyway, we ain't talking about that shit no more. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is at this point. We like 49 minutes in, ain't no point in harping on that shit. But I think Remembering Day, definitely, man. I remember that song. All right, so look, here we go. I don't think I've ever really broke down. There we go. Thought it was like, believe it or not. Like there's actually being written right now about Q and 5. I did an interview in 2017 with the author, the person who's writing it. And, like, he's literally interviewing everybody who was in Q and 5, like from the folks who were in it and left or whatever to people who remained until you know, like the very, very end. And like, yeah, so there's gonna be a whole book like kind of outlining like you know, like from start to finish, like all of the different things. And like I think we work together like when one of I'm sorry, I know it's super whack tonight. I apologize. Yeah, and so look, man, we go ahead and get ready to close it, because we only got 8 minutes left anyway. So what we'll do real quick, quick breakdown for like the song "Remembering Dave," the history behind that song. Basically, David Ross was a kid I went to high school with. He's a dude who like later on started rapping a little bit. So like I was seeing him from time to time at school. We knew a lot of the same people. We weren't necessarily like best of friends, but we were cool. We were acquaintances. And it started like around the year he passed away. We were hanging out a little more because that was when he started rhyming. So he'd be in the cypher. T. Lucas actually. The CypherCon is what he used to go by back then. And so anyway, out of the blue or whatever, one week we come back to school and we find out he died in a car accident. He was literally a block away from his home. He was only a block away from his home when he was in a car accident that took his life. And so yeah, like Nujabes gave me. I wrote this in 11th grade or was it 12th grade maybe. I think I wrote it my senior year of high school maybe. I might have been 17 when I wrote that song. And so it ended up happening, man. I write the joint, and after I wrote it, you know, like I wrote it to a beat that I made like before I went and did it for the album. And what was crazy was the recording session. I mentioned it before that although I love Nujabes, like yo, we used to have a very time working on projects because we used to bump heads a lot. And one of the songs that when Remembering Day, dude. So the problem was like when I did the delivery Remembering Day, I think you should maybe be more, you know, more energy, right? And I was just like, look, give me an example. And he was like, you were rapping on the song Substance. That like Substance is the second track on the album. It's about like the subject matter is completely different. I don't know if that falls consider what the subject matter is, right? Like just it's like cannabis, you know what I mean? Like a dude rap the same about everything, you know what I'm saying? I love you, mama, you're the greatest of all time. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I'm the best rapper alive. No matter what cannabis talk about, most of the time that's what you're gonna get. And I'm not that artist. Like my delivery changes like based on the flow of the music, right? And so yeah, dude, like when I tell you, bro, we had it out, son. Like me and Nujabes went back and forth in the studio for like 2 hours before we recorded. Like I recorded like a couple lines and he really wasn't into it. And then we basically debated for over 2 hours, man. That was like that was one of the longest, most grueling sessions I've ever done. And basically, I just put my foot down because I was just like, look, dude, you know, I'm not really here, and it's like, and I offended him on this particular day because I told him I was like, man, I ain't in here telling you how to make your beats. You know what I mean? It's like you play beats for me, I pick the ones I dig and I use it, right? Like. And so I'd appreciate it if you just trusted me on this particular joint. Because right now you're telling me to deliver a song about my friend who passed away the same way I delivered a song where I'm shitting on whack rappers. And that right there, that don't make sense to me. And I was like, I don't know if it's the language barrier thing or this, that, and the third. And I wasn't trying to be disrespectful. But it's one of those things that like, if you're not catching every lyric as it's coming out, like it's sometimes the issue of like you hear beat and then you think the delivery for that particular beat should sound like this. But what I was trying to explain to him is based on the vibe I got from your beat, you know, like this is the direction I decided to take the lyrics because originally the song was and then I wrote more when I got that beat. So I wrote the chorus to that beat. I wrote the, you know, and yeah, man. But that shit was like it was, yeah, like, like I mean, I'm glad we went out to dinner and shit, and everything was good afterward. Bruh, it was definitely fun. But yeah, man. So on that note, I think we need to go ahead and take a knee on this fight. I think it's about that time. 'Cause a lot of folks tapping on for that very. Yeah, running back. So
yeah, we done lost
good amount of y'all. Hey man, look. Sorry for the technical difficulties. Happy that most of y'all were able to tune in though. We will next week. Next week we will be doing. We will like it's gonna be live in New York because I'm gonna be in NY. So you know you won't be there, but yeah, but we will be doing some.
I'll be there in spirit. You know Johnny wants to know how to become a supporter.
On my Bandcamp page, you gotta go to the matter of fact, there should be a link in here. Yeah, there is. So look, go into the description. When you go into the description, there's a particular thing in the description that says become a supporter for exclusive music. There's a link right under that, Johnny. You click on that and then just follow the instructions and you can get set up.
You said the Bandcamp is redirecting them all around.
Really? Let me see. I'm gonna test out the link, see what it's doing. Wait for it. I'm checking. Probably gonna make the whole shit go slower. You know what I'm saying? Last thing I need to fix right now, Johnny. But for you, Johnny, anything, got you. So it's working for me right now. Yeah, it worked. So yeah, you should be able to like have one that says music, merch, video. Click on the one that says supporters. If you are already a supporter, it'll basically say you're a supporter, thank you. If you're not, it'll have next steps for you. It's like $5 a month. Click on that and just follow the steps. You dig? That should be that. All right? So look, go ahead. I'm sorry for the technical difficulties. It's probably going to be a terrible because it's just terrible time. So, but for everyone who tuned in tonight, man, we appreciate y'all. And I don't even know if we should even try to get to the closing music at this point. You know what I mean? It's like it might be too. Let's see. What happened? Oh shit! What you doing, Sherm? Sherm's working with me. Oh, get it? Yeah. Okay, Sherm. Sherm might be. Look.
Might not be as terrible as.
I see you, Sherm. There you go. There it is. Good job. Closing music coming up. You got a question? It's your last chance to get it in. It doesn't show anything about payment. So Johnny, shoot me an email, Johnny, and then we'll work it out. I hope you get through and figure it out. I know you were having the difficulty on the other website too. We'll work that out as well. So sorry you're having issues all around. But hey, man. Hey, Joshua, thank you, man. I just saw your comment you were about to see. I appreciate that.
Oh, yeah.
All right. On that note, it's about that time, folks. We're going to get ready to go. And it's fighting you tonight. Everything.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, wait for it.
Okay.
Here. Wait for it. Waiting. Still nothing.
Playing, but not really.
Yeah, no.
Wow, what a night.
Oh, what a night.
You two was fucking a video.
You said sell jumpsuits for New Year. Some will look with the. I don't know if I'm gonna do jumpsuits, son. I don't know about jumpsuits. Maybe tank tops and crop tops for the ladies. How about that? You know what I'm saying? You know, or the fellas. I'm not here to judge. You know what I mean? I mean, there's some guys out here living their life, and I'm just.
My comments are for me and myself.
There you go. You know what I'm saying? You never know. I'm not here to judge. Yeah. Live your life, be great. Maybe your ab game is vicious, and you want to showcase them. Maybe it's not, and you just want to let the pet breathe. You know what I'm saying? Just let my boy used to call this the pet. That's
I was going
somewhere else with it.
Wait a minute.
Dirtbag.
What?
See what I'm saying?
What are you talking about?
This is the shit I got to deal with. See, y'all don't even know. But on that note,
So we don't have any, no closing music tonight.
Yeah, man, fuck all that. We ain't got time for that.
This is some bullshit.
We gotta go. It's all good. Hey, thank y'all for tuning in. Next week, shouldn't be all this drama, but
I'm gonna have everybody leave, and I'm gonna turn everything off, and everything should be all right.
What fried producers would you consider doing a whole project with? Me, and me. That's the next album. I think I've done this list before, but my dream. Well, look. If I just had to work with 5 producers or whatever right now to do a record, if I wasn't producing it myself, Marcus D, the other guys, J Soul.
Hey, if you don't follow J Soul on Instagram,
you're missing out.
Do that shit.
You're missing out.
Who is he? It's J Soul. Right?
J Soul Music. I think
that's what.
Yeah. But yeah, like if I had to pick 5 to produce like my next record though, and if I wasn't doing it myself, it'd be Marcus D, it'd be J Soul, it'd be the other guys, Uyama Hiroto, and who am I not thinking of right now, man? I know it's a homie I'm not thinking of right now, who I really fuck with their shit. Algorithm. Jesus, Algorithm. Man, give me those 5 dudes right there. Again, Marcus D, Joe, the other guys, Uyama Hiroto, Algorithm. Look, he dropped the remote. Say no more. But that's who I would work with if I was if I had someone else producing my next record. And the funny thing is, I only have them producing my next record, and somehow they're probably all going to be involved on the next record anyway. Yeah. So, all right. But yeah, let's see. Someone put I'm black and my white girlfriend told she's pregnant. What are the chances? And then
give me an email.
Johnny, go to iamsubstantial.com and just go to the right. Johnny, go to iamsubstantial.com and just go to the contact page and then send a direct email to me. All right. And you can also contact me through Bandcamp, which it seems like you can't get on Bandcamp right now, so that maybe that's not the way to go. But iamsubstantial.com, and you can message me directly. Don't stop, Johnny. Don't stop. All right. Well, on that note, we gotta go. This is where I bum rush the camera. You know what I'm saying? That's been tripping whole time. We out, son.
Peace.
Peace.